Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be going through some of the vehicles you can get on Wreckfest, as well as some of the vehicle toppers that you can order. Now you can go down here to Market and see what all vehicles you can get. We're going to go through these first because I own a lot, so we'll go through the smaller list first. First, this little Firefly right here. You got a 3.0 acceleration, 4.0 speed, cornering 6.5, and a strength of 2.4. It doesn't seem like a very bad car. I wouldn't assume it would end up being like your final vehicle, so this is probably a lower level car that you would get. Then you have your Rammer, which is a little heavier. It's going to probably be a little worse on cornering, but when somebody tries to spin you out, it'd be a little harder for them to spin you out in this. More of a demolition derby type car, I'd assume. Then you have your El Matador. Really cool looking car. I like the look of it. It's like a El Camino and a Ranchero kind of had a baby and was a rebellious child, and this is what it turned up being right here. And then you have your Nexus RX. It's a little bitty car. Like, if you're driving this car, I'd imagine you'd want to stay away from people because one hit and you're probably out for the race. This thing is little. And you have the Dominator. Definitely looks like a foreign vehicle. I mean, I can't think of an American-made vehicle that looks anything like this. But it's not bad looking. It's got a good shape to it. It's pretty cool. Looks like it's decently fast. Good cornering. Then you have the Hammerhead. I can tell you by experience early on whenever I was racing, these things souped up are pretty dang good vehicles. Especially early on. You got a lot of weight to throw behind you if you're pushing somebody around, and the acceleration, top speed, and cornering is all right there neck and neck, and it's got some decent strength on it. Go ahead and check out the Boomer next. Boomer's not bad. Little bitty car again. Probably like the other one, you want to stay away from people because they'll probably kill you. This thing's strength is a 1.9. Cornering is amazing though, so you should be able to get in and out of there and turn away from people who are trying to hit you. Not a bad little car, though. Ooh, the Hot Shot. Looks a lot like a 55 through a 57 Chevy. I see different parts of each one on it. Weird that they put the fin on there. I'm not really a big fan of that. But it is not a bad looking car either. I've always been a fan of them. It looks like it's, your basic car, though. Good for strength and handling and acceleration. Top speed's alright. Then you got your Star Beast. This thing is also a mix of a whole bunch of different cars, it seems like. I like it though because I'm a big fan of the old muscle car look, and this is that. I do not own it yet. I will. But that is a pretty good little car. Probably about the same as the Hot Shot. And then you have the War Wagon. War Wagon doesn't look bad. A lot of people turn these into demolition vehicles. I've also seen some people using them as racing vehicles just because they like wrecking people, and that's how they get their higher up, ranking in there. That's how they get better spot in the race, is just wreck the other people out. So it'd be good for that, if that's your type of racing style. Then you got your Gate Crasher. This is a very, very popular car. I see this all the time. It's a heavy car. To me, it reminds me of like a Cruella de Vil off of 101 Dalmatians type of car. It's heavy. It's fast. It's really fast compared to some of the other ones. It's cornering isn't the best, but you can always tune your vehicle to adjust for a little better cornering. And it's very strong. The strength is a 5.5, so that's really good. And it's already an A-class car. And moving on to the Road Cutter. This is kind of the same thing. Very fast vehicle, especially on acceleration. Still an A-class car, but the cornering is down a little bit and the strength isn't as high. But still a really nice car. I like the look of that. The Panther RS. I don't really have much to say on this. I don't see very many of them being raced. I mean, it's not bad. It looks like the acceleration and the top speed's not bad. Decent cornering, and the strength is actually pretty high for as small as the vehicle is. I mean, it's still an A-class car. It's rear-wheel drive, and it's not bad. It's considered full-size, which is weird to me. It doesn't look like it's as big as some of the other full-size vehicles. But it doesn't seem bad. Decent price. Alright, now we have the Sunrise Super, like a little Lightning McQueen car, kind of is what it reminds me of. Little bitty thing. But it's fast. You can get in and out of trouble in this thing in a hurry. But not very much strength, though. This thing is not meant for demolition derby. I imagine you're only doing a banger race if you're doing in this car. But it's not bad for it. It's got really good cornering. Alright, and this is the Bulldog. I mean, what else do you need to say about this thing? Why I don't own it, I do not know. It is an acceleration of 8.3, top speed 7.2, cornering 7.2, with a little pussy strength of 2.1. But with the other three numbers, you don't need anything else. As long as you just stay away from everybody, it doesn't matter if you get hit or not. And look at the shape of this thing. Bringing back the old style. Who doesn't want the Bulldog? Bringing an A-class of 258. This should be everyone's next car. Alright. We're going to move on to my cars that I already have. We're going to go to the other side of the list here. First, we got the Rocket. Little Mustang-looking car. It's not bad. It's tuned already. That's why the stats are different than what you may see if you're already looking to buy one. This one's tuned, not maxed out though, at 4.2 for acceleration, top speed is 7.7, cornering 6.4, and a 4.1. If you're beginning the game, this is a good car to start with. I'll admit that. It made the career mode real easy for me to win most of the races. And I mean, I had to paint it to match the shark. You know, I love sharks, and that looks amazing. You know, it's dang near perfect. Dang near. And then we have the Bandit Ripper V8. This is a special car that comes with the game if you buy it. Buy the pack, I believe. Or if you ordered it pre-access or whatever, this is what you get for that. It comes with most of the stuff. Some of it I added. It's not a bad looking car. Looks like a Challenger, in my opinion. I put some extra armor on there, and I added the axe blades, or the axes, because they look cool, in my opinion. Not a bad little car, though. I wouldn't recommend painting the cars crazy-ass colors like this, because it makes you out to be a target. The bright colors like I've painted this one, I found out when doing demolition derbies, people almost seek you out because of the color, it seems. So might refrain from doing that. And next is the Lawnmower, bringing in the D-Class, 75. Probably one of my favorite demolition derby race vehicles right here is because it is fun as hell to just try to run from other people that are trying to kill you when you're on this thing. It's not bad for speed. It's pretty good handling. It slides pretty good, so you want to feather that gas pedal when you're driving. But I enjoy trying to get away from other people on this thing. A lot of fun. I would definitely recommend it at least one time for everybody. Then we're moving on to the Mud Digger. I mean, it's an 80s model Blazer is what it looks like to me. I added the little fenders on there, the little gasser pipes coming out. It's not bad, though. I mean, it's got a lot of customization you can do to it. You can make it look more like a truck or leave it looking like the Blazer. It's pretty good for strength, and top speed really isn't that bad either, but this is also tuned as all my other vehicles normally are on here. As soon as I get something, unlock it anyway, I go ahead and tune it, so they're all going to be tuned probably. Saying tuned a lot. Tune. Now we're going to the TriStar. I like this little car. Real good for cornering. I used this a little bit early on, not a lot, because I enjoyed the Rocket, but it's not bad. It's, I mean, just your basic car, in my opinion. They're going to be adding a bunch of new cars here pretty soon, so I'll hopefully be jumping in on that and show you guys what all they're offering for those of you interested in buying the game. I recommend it because I love racing, but it is also up to the beholder, you know. It's up to you, your opinion, if you like them or not. I like racing, and I especially like wrecking people. That's definitely fun. Alright, now we're going to go on to the Killer Bee. This little thing, I mean, what do you need to say about it? It's cute. It's got the stance where it looks like it's taken off. You know, it's like it's got some power behind it somehow. This little bitty car has an engine that would actually have a decent amount of power. I made it look like a Bumblebee because, I mean, it's Killer Bee, Bumblebee. I mean, it's got to look like him, you know what I mean? Cute little car, though. Decent for everything. Acceleration's not great, which is what you would need when you have a small car with like barely any strength, so you can get away from everybody. But it's not bad for getting away from when it comes to top end speed and cornering, so that's not bad. And this vehicle right here makes me think, what the hell were the editors thinking? You know, like, hey, let's see if we can make this challenge hard as hell for this guy. This vehicle, as soon as you take it around a turn, immediately wants to drift. Oh man, I hated racing with this thing. I don't race it very much anymore. But it is terrible for strength and cornering. I mean, as you can imagine, it's a three-wheeled vehicle, you know. Speed's not that great. Acceleration's good, probably just because it's so light. You do not recommend the Supervan for anybody. But if you like it, more power to you. You're probably a better racer than I am. Moving on to one of my favorites, the Rammer RS. This car here reminds me of Days of Thunder. That's kind of what I went with here. You know, 54 is the number of the car, and I tried making it look as much as I could to his with the little extras like the pipes and the fin and some of the other things on the car, but, you know, as close as I could. I love this car. Used it a lot early on. You know, good strength and then great acceleration and top speed. Cornering's alright as well. And the limo. This is what I use mainly for demolition derbies. I mean, if you've watched my videos, you know that this is my go-to demolition derby vehicle. It packs one hell of a punch. It's a strength of an 8.0. That's the best I have. Acceleration ain't bad. Top speed isn't bad. Cornering is absolute garbage. You might as well just hold your e-brake whenever you're turning in this thing, because that's what you're going to have to do in order to turn. It is not a good vehicle for cornering. Just good for hitting people if you can be accurate. Alright, now we have the Harvester, basically a combine. Not really a lot to say about this. I mean, somehow they even made the cornering worse than what it was on the limo. This thing's a 1.0, probably the worst in the game. I mean, I guess it matches the Supervan, but this thing's also top heavy, so it wants to keep it going, you know. It's kind of oversteers a little bit. It's got a top speed of 2.2, acceleration 1.9. The strength isn't bad, but I mean, what does that matter when you can't even hit anybody, you know? Good vehicle, I guess, if you're wanting to be a jerk and just block the track, though. I've seen people do this. It's not bad. Good trolling vehicle. Alright, now we got the Gremlin. The Gremlin. I think this color scheme went well with it. It's not a bad little car either. It's a C-class car. I'd say mid-range. You know, it's in between, like, just starting out in the game and before you get to the ending of the game where you finally have your best vehicle and you know exactly what you want. This is that in-between vehicle to help you out on that every now and then if you need a special car. I use this one for demolition derbies early on. That's why it's got the armor all over it. It's got decent cornering. The top speed's where it's at, and the strength is good. But that's, once again, probably just because I have all the armor on it. Alright, and now we got the Killer Bee S. This is a car I won by racing the Killer Bee, and then I won this one in a 1v1. It's not a bad car at all. The cornering is simply amazing on it, but if you get hit, you are done. Top speed's 8.4. acceleration 6.3. Still a good car. I recommend, if you guys are going to be playing, to do your best to like play multiple different vehicles, test them, see which one you like, and then do whatever tuning you need to do to make it fit whatever your driving style is. But this is the Killer Bee. And the motorhome. Basically America on wheels is what this thing screams. I mean, it's even got bobs on it. You can't beat that. This thing brakes super fast. Good strength, but I mean, it just breaks. It destroys. People hit your little camper, and there's not much left of it that'll finish the race. Cornering's terrible, but somehow it drifts like a son of a gun. Just mash that e-brake of yours. Top speed isn't great. Neither is acceleration. But, you know, when you're driving this, you're not really driving for anything but style. And the school bus. I don't know why I made it cute. I have no comments for that. But anyway, cornering's bad. Obviously, it's a bus. Strength is good. Once again, it's a bus. And your acceleration and top speed are mediocre to nothing. It's really not a great vehicle for anything but trolling. That's about it. Anybody could dang near leave you in the dust in this thing. And this. The double-decker. Probably the only vehicle in the game I wouldn't recommend using your e-brake on because it'll flip you. Cornering is terrible, as you can see. Acceleration and top speed are mediocre. And strength is somehow good in this. And I didn't put any armor on it because you cannot upgrade this, the school bus, the motorhome, the big rig, or the harvester. And this one kind of looks like shit on a leaf, you know. Got the brown and the green. Yuck. Nasty. Anyway, it's not terrible. It's fun to get out there and play with every now and then. And this is my pavement racer. I have a few vehicles I use over and over and over again because I like how they handle and I like the speed. This obviously is a 10.0 speed and acceleration, cornering 7.5 with the 3.8 strength with no armor on it. So that's pretty good for a car like that, and I believe it's not even fully upgraded. I think I can get a little bit more out of it, even though it's already a 10.0. This is what I use for my pavement races, though. Love this car. Love that paint, that gold and the white. Love it. Definitely recommend the Speedbird. It's a great car. And the Boomer RS. This is a paved racer that I use for whenever I need really good cornering, because it has a 9.1 cornering. Probably one of the best cornering cars in the game. Super good car for that. For straightaways, it's not bad. The speed isn't a 10.0, so you will get past. And if you get hit, you will die. The strength is pretty bad. But you can always upgrade that. But remember, any upgrades you do toward the strength is going to take down from the speed and cornering. But it's not a terrible car if you're good at handling. If you're good at getting away from people, that is. And now Optimus Prime. I mean, the big rig. I love this truck. It slides. If you turn, it basically oversteer slides everywhere you go. Just the littlest turn will turn into a huge roundabout looking turn because this thing does not turn very well at all. It's so heavy, it just pushes through everything. But the acceleration is magnificent on this vehicle for how heavy it is. And that being said, the weight, you can use this thing to push through about anybody. Good for being a troll. That's about it. But I do like it. I've raced a couple of times. If you look at my videos, you'll see at least one race in this thing. And the Road Slayer. I mean, it's not a bad vehicle. Looks like an old Camaro. I haven't really done much to it. I think I've tuned it, but I haven't actually upgraded any parts or anything aside from painting and maybe putting wheels on it. I needed this to win the 1v1 to get the Road Slayer RS, which you'll see here in a little bit. That's the car I really wanted, so I just bought this just to race it. And it's sat ever since. I'll race it a couple of times, put it in a video for you guys. It is an A-class. It is pretty good speed and acceleration. And, decent at everything else. And now for you Herbie fans out there, we have the Buggy. The buggy's not terrible. It also is a C-class car, but you can probably upgrade the engine and turn it into an A or a B-class car. Not great strength, but pretty decent on cornering. Alright, and the Wingman. Oh yeah. I mean, what else needs to be said about this thing? There's multiple paint schemes for all these vehicles, and you can always change the colors, but when you can throw an American flag on a car like this, I mean, why wouldn't you? The fins on this thing, the shape, I mean, this thing just screams, America. That being said, it's not great at cornering. It's a good straightaway car, and then, just slide into your opponents and take them out on every turn. That's basically what you're going to have to do in this car. Strength is great for that, though. It's a 5.9 starting out with no armor. And the bumper car. The bumper car, the Wingman, and the buggy, the last three that I've shown are all downloadable content. But this is what they look like. The little bumper car is just cute, man. I mean, you can't beat this. You get a bunch of buddies driving around in this thing around a track, and people don't mess with you. I've seen a couple of them racing, and I don't even hit them. You just feel sorry for them. You don't want to hit them. But it's a cool little car, right? Oh, yeah. And the Road Slayer GT. I brought this up earlier. This is the vehicle I wanted because not only is it a 9.7 speed and acceleration 7.6 with a cornering of 5.4, but I also fully armored this thing, and I use it for demolition derby every now and then or races where I need to be able to hit people. It is a beast, plain and simple. This car can take a hit and still keep driving, even if it doesn't look good. Love this car. Definitely recommend the Road Slayer GT. Actually, earlier I messed that up by saying it was an RS. It's a GT. Completely sorry for that. Shouldn't have messed that up. Jesus. And the Venom. This is my dirt track car. So it's a racing vehicle I use with little to no armor. Actually, I say that, but it's a 4.9. And I use it for racing dirt track. I put the big tires on it. Whether they help or not, I do not know. I don't even know if it's been proven. But I like to think it helps. It's also my Chief car, KC Chief looking car. It kind of looks like an arrow, too. Anyway, not bad. Almost maxed out top speed acceleration. I can still upgrade a little more, so I feel like it will eventually be a 10-10. And cornering's not bad. And the Speed Demon. This is the last vehicle I purchased with the throw-in stars. I figured that goes good with the Ginger Ninja games, so might end up throwing those stars on every vehicle I have. But this thing's not bad. It's really lightweight. Top speed 10.0, 8.2 acceleration, 6.7 cornering, and a 4.6 strength. So it's not the strongest car out there, but it can hold its own when it comes to speed, acceleration, and going around the turns. And I also have it set for pavement with the tires that are on it. We'll see which one I end up using. This or the Speed Demon, or the Speed Bird. I mean, I'm just going to go with the Speed Bird, but we'll see which one of them can compete. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and show you guys the toppers. All the toppers in the game that I have are, boom, you got the little horns. Pretty cool. Depending on the vehicle you put it on. You have a chainsaw. Your little glasses. Supposed to be that Thug Life glasses. The little Wreck'em sign. A dragon. I mean, that's cute, right? Kind of wish it was bigger. Maybe just the wings. Your TNT explosives. The football. Probably going to put that on my Venom. The Jester hat. Missile. Huge missile. The Ninja Stars, y'all have seen them. The pizza sign, which is one-sided. That's cool. They didn't make it both sides, so you have your crust on one side, pizza on the other. And some shit. Poop, turd, dookie, deuce, whatever you want to call it. That's pretty shitty, honestly. The little rubber ducky. If it squeaked, that would be even better. That thing's a good one to have on your car. Maybe people feel sorry for you. The scorpion. That's cool. I mean, you can't hate the scorpion. Disgusting, though. And the shark. Everybody loves the shark. It almost looks like a baby version of Brucey off of Finding Nemo. And your skeletons, which kind of shows that you're a terrible driver or there was a zombie apocalypse. I mean, it's really up to you. You can choose. The teddy bear. I like that. I didn't even think of that. Him sitting in the back like that. That's cool. The atom bomb. Or toy bomb. It's not bad. Looks a little weird. The American top hat, which should go on my American vehicles. Oh, it's a little unicorn floaty. That thing's awesome. Ooh, you have your peace sign. Like a chrome peace sign. That is shiny. Peace. And your warning sign.